So today we're out in Hirschfelden doing a look at the best guns that are in Call of the Wild. The shooting range is in the southeast corner of Hirschfelden, if you guys are wondering. But yeah, today we're looking at the best guns that are in Call of the Wild. Some of them have some personal preference. There are multiple really good candidates for each class range for the rifles, and we'll get started with the 308 from the Modern Rifles pack. It has the fastest shooting in the game, so that makes it really good for grinds, like the Great One grind. It is class 4 to 8, so that's good for most deer and up to moose you can take with it, but it is not the best gun for me. So at 300 meters, we'll see how it shoots at 300 meters. And just like that, dead center. There's no zeroing problems with this gun. And it is probably one of the best guns in the game, just all around. Second, we have the 243. This gun goes from classes 2 to 6. But normally, because we would have a class 4 to 8 rifle like this 308 here, we'd use the class 4 to 6 or 2 to 6 rifle for classes 2 to 3, which our class 4 to 8 rifle does not cover. So it's best for that. The only downside with this gun is then when you're zeroed for 300 meters, it shoots a little low. Shoots more like 250. We'll go change the distance at the shooting range to 250 meters. And we'll take another shot. We'll aim bang on. So center of the target. And then it's bang on at 250 meters. So that's one thing to be aware of with this gun. There's also a 243 handgun. The downside is it only has one shot compared to the 5. But the weight is much less, so you can fit it in loadout with more guns, so it doesn't take up as much space. So depending on your needs, you could use one of these. And next, we got the 300. This gun is good for classes 7 to 9. I would use it for all 3 of these classes. Another good gun would be the 338, and the 338 from the Hunter Power Pack has slightly more power, but there's a twitch to the reload, which I'll show after I shoot 300. Got the 300, and go change the gun range back to 300 meters. 300 is bang on at 300 meters. My shooting was just a little off there, but that's good enough for anything. It has a 4-round capacity, and I'd say it's the best gun in the game just because it does not have the twitch that the 338 has. So here's the 338. Also is classes 7 to 9. But when we take a shot here, we'll see the twitch. See that twitch when he reloads. That makes it less ideal for grinds. But like grinds like the moose grind. So the slight increase in power does not have a good enough advantage to the 300. So I'd still use the 300. And that's why I'm putting the 300 above the 338 for this class rank. Next, we move on to class 1. Really, there's only one option for this, is the 22. It zeroes all the way up to 150 meters. And there's no aim problem with this at 150 meters. So we'll take one shot here. 150 meters, bang on. There's also the 222 handgun, which zeroes to 75. That's the disadvantage for the handgun. It just doesn't zero as far. The advantage is that it is a lighter gun. And there's also a 22 strategy, which I'll show you guys. So here's how we do the 22 strategy. I got the handgun here, but the long rifle works just as well. So say, that buck was behind that doe. say he was, or say I want to shoot this buck behind and that buck's covering. I zero as far as I need to, shoot by them like that. It'll make them go alert and see how they're moving. It opens up a shot lane that you can take to get the buck you want or the animal that you want. Just allows you to make them go alert for a little bit, present a shot, and also for class 1 is a shotgun. Really, shotgun comes down to personal preference. So I have the Couso right here. They 0 out to 75. I also have the Cacciatore 12 gauge. The Couso is a 16 gauge, but the Cacciatore is a 12 gauge. So the difference is carrying capacity 6 rounds for the Cacciatore and 5 rounds for the Couso. So really, you get one shot difference, but the big difference is the sights. So that one just has a bead, and this one you have a full sight like this. So some people like the more open sights of the bead compared to the bigger sights of the Cacciatore compared to just the bead on the Couso. So that just comes down to personal preference. They're both perfectly good for taking waterfowl. Got one more honorable mention is a 7mm, which covers classes 4 to 9. And this gun has a 3-round capacity, and there's also a break action, which has a 1-round capacity, which is from the base game. This gun is good for like when you're going to unlock a map. It has a bigger class range, has a little bit more power, but the disadvantage is the shooting speed compared to the 338, which would be the closest comparable, or not the 338, the 308, which would be the closest comparable to this. But the 308 does not go to class 9. And then shotgun is just personal preference. Doesn't really matter. Whatever you want for birdshot. And that would be the best guns in the game. I'll have a list on screen here, and I'll put a list in the description. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.